Exploring Ireland, the Ultimate American's Guide to the Emerald Isle. Chapter 1. Dublin, Ireland's Heartbeat. Dublin, Ireland's capital, is a city where history and modern life blend seamlessly. It's a place where medieval castles stand beside contemporary coffee shops, where traditional Irish pubs host live music every night, and where literary legends have walked the very same streets you will. Whether you're a history buff, a literature lover, or just someone looking for good food and a great pint, Dublin is the perfect place to start your Irish adventure. Arriving in Dublin, if you're flying into Ireland, you'll likely land at Dublin Airport, Dub. From here, it's a short 20-minute drive into the city centre. Taxis are readily available, but if you want a budget-friendly option, the Airlink Express or Dublin bus will get you into town for a fraction of the cost. Dublin is a walkable city, but if you prefer, you can hop on the Luas tram or use the extensive bus system. For a more scenic option, consider renting a bike. Dublin's cycle lanes make it easy to explore on two wheels. Trinity College and the Book of Kells. One of the first places you should visit is Trinity College, home to one of Ireland's most precious treasures, the Book of Kells. This stunning 9th century manuscript created by monks is an incredible piece of history. It's displayed in a dimly lit glass case where you can admire its intricate illustrations. But don't rush off just yet. The real highlight of Trinity College is the Long Room Library, an awe-inspiring hall lined with thousands of old books. The smell of aged paper, the towering bookshelves, and the busts of famous literary figures make this one of the most breathtaking libraries in the world. The Guinness Storehouse. A pint with a view. No trip to Dublin is complete without a visit to the Guinness Storehouse. Located at St. James's Gate Brewery, this 7-story attraction takes you through the history of Ireland's most famous stout. You'll learn how Guinness is brewed, discover the secret behind the perfect pour, and of course enjoy a pint at the Gravity Bar, which offers one of the best panoramic views of Dublin. If you want to drink like a true Dubliner, wait for the foam to settle before taking your first sip. And don't be afraid to draw a shamrock in the foam, it's a bartender's signature move. Temple Bar, more than just a pub. When most people hear Temple Bar, they think of Dublin's most famous and most touristy pub, but Temple Bar is actually an entire neighborhood, known for its cobblestone streets, lively atmosphere, and vibrant nightlife. Sure, you can grab a pint at the Temple Bar pub, but be prepared for high prices and lots of tourists. If you want a more authentic experience, try these local favorites. The Stag's Head, a traditional Irish pub with great Guinness and live music. The Brazen Head, Dublin's oldest pub, dating back to 1198. The Cobblestone, the best place to hear traditional Irish music in an intimate setting. Temple Bar is also home to some fantastic restaurants, art galleries, and quirky shops. Stop by the Temple Bar Food Market on Saturdays for some local delicacies. Dublin Castle and St. Patrick's Cathedral. For a dose of history, head to Dublin Castle, which has stood at the center of Irish politics for over 800 years. You can take a guided tour through its grand halls and learn about its role in everything from Viking invasions to British rule. Just a short walk away is St. Patrick's Cathedral, Ireland's largest church. It's named after St. Patrick, the country's patron saint, who is said to have baptized converts in a well nearby. Inside, you'll find beautiful stained glass windows, intricate carvings, and the tomb of Jonathan Swift, the author of Gulliver's Travels. Kilmainham Gaol, Ireland's political history. For a more somber yet deeply moving experience, visit Kilmainham Gaol. This former prison played a key role in Ireland's struggle for independence, housing some of the country's most famous revolutionaries. As you walk through its cold stone corridors and stand inside the empty cells, you'll hear haunting stories of those who fought and died for Ireland's freedom. The tour guides do an excellent job of bringing the history to life, making it an essential stop for anyone wanting to understand Ireland's past. Dublin's literary legacy. Dublin has a rich literary history, and book lovers will find plenty to explore. The city is home to literary giants like James Joyce, W.B. Yeats, Samuel Beckett, and Oscar Wilde. If you're a Joyce fan, follow the James Joyce walking tour, which takes you to key locations from Ulysses, or visit the Dublin Writers' Museum, where you can see first editions of classic Irish literature. For something a bit different, Check out Swenny's Pharmacy, an old Victorian pharmacy featured in Ulysses. Today, it's a quirky little bookshop where you can listen to Joyce readings while sipping tea. Food in Dublin. More than just potatoes. Irish cuisine has come a long way from the stereotype of meat and potatoes. Dublin is home to Michelin-star restaurants, trendy cafes, and traditional pubs serving hearty meals. Some dishes you should try. Irish stew. A warm, comforting dish made with lamb, potatoes, and carrots. Boxty, a potato pancake, crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. Seafood chowder, made with fresh fish from Ireland's coasts. Coddle, a Dublin classic made with sausages, bacon, and potatoes in a rich broth. If you want a quick bite, stop by Leo Burdock's, Dublin's most famous fish and chips shop. It's been serving crispy, battered fish since 1913, and even celebrities like Tom Cruise and Bruce Springsteen have made a stop here. Day trips from Dublin. If you have extra time, consider a day trip outside the city. Some top choices include Howth, a charming seaside village just 30 minutes from Dublin, known for its stunning cliff walks and seafood restaurants. Glendalough, a breathtaking monastic site set in the Wicklow Mountains, perfect for nature lovers. Newgrange, a prehistoric passage tomb older than the pyramids, located in the Boyne Valley. Final thoughts on Dublin. Dublin is a city full of energy, history, and culture. It's a place where you can spend your mornings exploring ancient castles, your afternoons wandering through literary landmarks, and your evenings enjoying music in a cozy pub. Whether it's your first trip to Ireland or your 10th, Dublin always has something new to offer. So, grab a pint, listen to some traditional music, and soak in the magic of Ireland's capital. Next chapter, Galway, Ireland's cultural heart. If you're ready for breathtaking coastal views, lively music, and a city bursting with charm, join me in the next chapter as we travel west to the bohemian city of Galway. Chapter 2. Galway, Ireland's cultural heart. If Dublin is Ireland's lively and historic capital, then Galway is its artistic and soulful heart. Sitting on the rugged west coast where the river Corrib meets the Atlantic Ocean, Galway is a place of music, art, and ceaseless energy. It's a city that feels alive, where street musicians fill the air with melodies, where brightly painted pubs hum with conversation, and where the past and present blend seamlessly into a vibrant bohemian atmosphere. Whether you come for the lively nightlife, breathtaking coastal views, or simply to soak in the easygoing charm, Galway is a place that will capture your heart and never let go. Arriving in Galway, Galway is about a 2.5-hour drive from Dublin. If you're renting a car, the journey along the M6 motorway is straightforward, but if you'd rather relax, you can take a train from Euston Station in Dublin or hop on a direct bus service. If you're coming from the US and flying into Shannon Airport, SNN, Galway is only an hour's drive away. Once you arrive, you'll find that Galway is a compact and walkable city. The main attractions, shops, and pubs are all within easy strolling distance, making it an ideal place to explore on foot. The Latin Quarter, the heartbeat of Galway. Step into the Latin Quarter, the most vibrant part of the city, and you'll feel like you've been transported into a postcard-perfect scene. Cobbled streets, medieval buildings, and brightly colored shop fronts give this area its unique charm. Here you'll find Quay Street, the heart of the Latin Quarter, lined with pubs, restaurants, and shops selling everything from handmade jewelry to traditional Aran sweaters. Street performers. Galway is famous for its buskers, street musicians who add to the city's lively atmosphere. Shop Street, a pedestrian-only area filled with local boutiques, bookstores, and cafes. If you want to soak in the culture, stop by Taig Neachtain, a legendary Galway pub that serves a fantastic selection of craft beers and whiskies. Ayr Square, a meeting place for locals and visitors. Located in the center of Galway, Ayr Square is a green space where locals gather, street performers entertain, and travelers take a break from sightseeing. It's a great place to relax, but it's also surrounded by historic landmarks, including the Brown Doorway, a grand medieval stone doorway that once belonged to a wealthy Galway family. The Quincentennial Fountain, featuring a metallic version of Galway's famous sailing ships, the Galway Hookers. Kennedy Park, named after U.S. President John F. Kennedy, who visited Galway in 1963 and was warmly welcomed by the people. Galway's pubs, music, craic, and a pint of Guinness. Galway is a city of music, and its pubs are the best place to experience it. Unlike Dublin, where many pubs cater to tourists, Galway's pubs feel genuinely local, welcoming, and full of character. Here are some of the best spots for live traditional music. Tyke Coil, a small, intimate pub where musicians gather for nightly jam sessions. The energy here is infectious, and you'll likely end up singing along. The Crane Bar. If you want authentic, raw Irish music, this is the place. The upstairs room is dedicated to traditional sessions where talented musicians play everything from fiddles to bodhráns. And Pucan, a larger, more modern pub that blends trad music with contemporary Irish folk bands. Great for first-time visitors. If you're in the mood for something a bit different, try the King's Head, a 17th century pub with a fascinating history. It's named after the executioner of King Charles I, who supposedly lived here. The Spanish Arch and Galway's maritime history. One of Galway's most famous landmarks, the Spanish Arch, sits along the banks of the River Corrib, just a short walk from the Latin Quarter. Built in the 16th century, this stone arch was originally part of Galway's medieval city walls and was used to protect ships unloading cargo. Why Spanish? Because in the past, Galway was a major trading hub with Spain, and you can still feel that influence in the city's food, architecture, and culture. Nearby, you'll find the Galway City Museum, a fantastic place to dive into Galway's past, from its medieval roots to its role in the Irish fight for independence. Salt Hill Promenade, ocean views, and fresh air. If you want a break from the city, take a short walk or a quick drive to Salt Hill, Galway's seaside neighborhood. Here, you can walk along the promenade, enjoying stunning views of Galway Bay and the distant Aran Islands. Legend has it that if you kick the wall at the end of the prom, you'll have good luck, so don't forget to give it a try. Salt Hill is also home to beaches. If the weather is nice, you can take a dip in the Atlantic if you're brave enough. The Black Rock Diving Tower, a famous spot where locals jump into the sea, even in winter. Cozy cafes and ice cream shops, perfect for grabbing a coffee or a 99 ice cream cone. Day trips from Galway. One of the best things about Galway is its proximity to some of Ireland's most spectacular natural sights. If you have time, take a day trip to one of these breathtaking destinations. Cliffs of Moher 1.5-hour drive. The Cliffs of Moher are Ireland's most famous natural wonder, rising 700 feet above the Atlantic. On a clear day, you can see all the way to the Aran Islands. The visitor center provides information on the cliffs' geology and history, but the real magic is just standing at the edge, feeling the wind and taking in the breathtaking view. The Aran Islands, ferry from Galway or Dublin. For a truly unique experience, take a ferry to the Aran Islands, a place where life moves at a slower pace. Here you'll find Duna Ongasa, an ancient stone fort perched on a cliff. Locals speaking fluent Irish, Gaelic, no cars, just bikes and horse-drawn carriages for getting around. Connemara National Park, 1-hour drive. Connemara is a wild, rugged landscape of mountains, bogs, and lakes. If you love hiking, this is the place to go. Be sure to visit Kylemore Abbey, a stunning castle-like monastery. Diamond Hill, a moderate hike with stunning views. Lough Inagh, a peaceful lake perfect for a scenic drive. Final thoughts on Galway. Galway is a city that steals your heart. Whether you're strolling along the Latin Quarter, listening to music in a cozy pub, or standing on the edge of the Cliffs of Moher, you'll feel a deep connection to this special place. It's a city full of laughter, warmth, and a love for life, a place where you'll want to linger just a little longer. Next chapter, Killarney and the Ring of Kerry, Ireland's most scenic drive. Join me in the next chapter as we head south to Killarney, home to some of Ireland's most stunning landscapes, ancient castles, and the famous Ring of Kerry. Chapter 3, Killarney and the Ring of Kerry, Ireland's most scenic drive. If you're looking for jaw-dropping landscapes, winding coastal roads, and a touch of Irish magic, then Killarney and the Ring of Kerry should be at the top of your list. This is Ireland at its most cinematic, where mountains roll into shimmering lakes and rugged cliffs meet the endless Atlantic Ocean. Killarney, often considered Ireland's most beautiful town, is the perfect base for exploring the Ring of Kerry, a 111-mile scenic drive that takes you through some of the most breathtaking parts of the country. It's a journey that combines history, nature, and local charm, making it one of the most unforgettable experiences in Ireland. Arriving in Killarney. Killarney is located in County Kerry, about a 4-hour drive from Dublin and 2 hours from Galway. If you prefer to let someone else do the driving, you can take a train from Dublin to Killarney or hop on a long-distance bus. Once you arrive, you'll find that Killarney is easy to explore on foot, but renting a bike or car will give you the flexibility to venture beyond the town into Killarney National Park and the Ring of Kerry. Killarney, a town surrounded by beauty. Before setting off on the Ring of Kerry, take some time to explore Killarney itself. The town is small but lively, with charming streets lined with pubs, cafes, and shops selling traditional Irish crafts. A few must-visit spots: High Street and Main Street, the heart of Killarney, filled with local shops and traditional Irish pubs. St. Mary's Cathedral, a stunning neo-Gothic church built in the 19th century. Killarney Brewing Company, a great place to sample local craft beers before heading into the countryside. Killarney National Park, Ireland's natural treasure. Just outside Killarney lies Killarney National Park, a 26,000-acre wonderland of mountains, lakes, and ancient woodlands. This is one of Ireland's most scenic areas and should be explored slowly, either by bike, horse-drawn carriage, or even by boat. Muckross House and Gardens. One of the most famous attractions in the park, Muckross House is a stately 19th-century mansion that once hosted Queen Victoria. Take a guided tour to step back in time and learn about the aristocratic life of Old Ireland. Torc Waterfall. A short drive from Killarney, Torc Waterfall is a breathtaking 70-foot cascade surrounded by lush green forest. It's only a 5-minute walk from the car park, making it an easy but rewarding stop. The Lakes of Killarney. Killarney is famous for its 3 interconnected lakes, offering some of the best views in Ireland. One of the best ways to experience them is by taking a boat tour from Ross Castle. If you prefer to stay on land, the lakes provide stunning viewpoints along the Ring of Kerry Drive. The Ring of Kerry, Ireland's most iconic drive. Now, it's time for the main event, the legendary Ring of Kerry. This 111-mile scenic loop takes you through mountains, cliffs, beaches, and charming villages, making it one of the best road trips in the world. Starting the drive. Most people drive the Ring of Kerry clockwise, starting and ending in Killarney. If you're traveling by tour bus, they will follow this route, but if you're driving yourself, you may want to go counterclockwise to avoid getting stuck behind slow-moving buses. Highlights of the Ring of Kerry. 1. Killorglin, the town of the Puck Fair. Your first stop is Killorglin, a charming riverside town famous for Ireland's oldest festival, the Puck Fair. Every August, the town crowns a wild mountain goat as king for 3 days in a festival filled with music, food, and celebrations. 2. Glen Bay and Ross Bay Beach, a hidden gem. Next, you'll pass through Glen Bay, a small village with stunning coastal views. Nearby is Ross Bay Beach, one of the most scenic beaches in Ireland, with golden sands and panoramic views of Dingle Bay. 3. Cahersiveen and Ballycarbery Castle. As you continue, you'll reach Cahersiveen, the birthplace of Daniel O'Connell, one of Ireland's most famous political leaders. Just outside the town, you'll find Ballycarbery Castle, a picturesque medieval ruin covered in ivy, a perfect spot for photography. The 4. Skellig Ring, a must-see detour. If you have time, take a slight detour onto the Skellig Ring, a small coastal loop off the main Ring of Kerry. Here you'll find Valentia Island, one of Ireland's most beautiful islands, connected by a bridge, Portmagee, a fishing village with incredible seafood and colorful houses. Skellig Michael, the real highlight, an ancient monastery on a remote rock island, made famous by Star Wars: The Force Awakens. If you want to visit Skellig Michael, you'll need to book a boat tour in advance, as visitor numbers are strictly limited. 5. Waterville, Charlie Chaplin's favorite spot. Continuing along the coast, you'll arrive in Waterville, a small town famous for being Charlie Chaplin's favorite holiday spot. There's even a statue of Chaplin overlooking the ocean. 6. Sneem, a charming village. Sneem is one of the most picturesque villages in Ireland, with colorful houses, traditional pubs, and scenic river views. It's a great place to stop for lunch and enjoy some classic Irish seafood chowder. Number 7. Mole's Gap and Ladies' View, spectacular mountain vistas. As you start heading back toward Killarney, you'll drive through Mole's Gap, a mountain pass with breathtaking views of the McGillicuddy's Reeks Mountains. A few minutes later, you'll reach Ladies' View, one of the most famous viewpoints in Ireland. The name comes from Queen Victoria's ladies-in-waiting, who were so captivated by the view that they named it in her honor. Back to Killarney, ending the journey. After completing the Ring of Kerry, you'll find yourself back in Killarney, tired but in awe of Ireland's natural beauty. Now it's time to relax with a pint of Guinness, enjoy a meal at a cozy pub, and maybe even listen to some live traditional music. Final thoughts on Killarney and the Ring of Kerry. This journey is not just about the drive, it's about the moments. The feeling of standing on a windswept cliff, watching the Atlantic crash against the shore, the warmth of a local pub, where strangers become friends over a pint, the awe of seeing ancient castles and ruins, reminders of Ireland's deep and fascinating history. The Ring of Kerry is more than a scenic route. It's an experience, a connection to Ireland's wild heart, and a place that will stay with you long after you leave. Next chapter, the Cliffs of Moher and the Wild Atlantic Way. Up next, we'll explore one of Ireland's most famous landmarks, the Cliffs of Moher. Towering above the Atlantic, these dramatic cliffs are one of the most breathtaking sights in the world. Get ready for windswept landscapes, hidden sea caves, and endless ocean views. Chapter 4. The Cliffs of Moher and the Wild Atlantic Way. If there's one image that defines Ireland, it's the Cliffs of Moher. Rising 700 feet above the Atlantic Ocean, these cliffs stretch for 9 miles along the west coast, offering one of the most breathtaking views in the world. Standing at the edge, with the wind whipping through your hair and the waves crashing far below, you'll understand why this is Ireland's most visited natural attraction. But the Cliffs of Moher are just one stop on the Wild Atlantic Way, a 1,600-mile coastal route that takes you through some of the most dramatic landscapes in Ireland. If you love rugged cliffs, hidden beaches, and charming seaside villages, this chapter is for you. Arriving at the Cliffs of Moher. The Cliffs of Moher are located in County Clare, about a 1.5-hour drive from Galway and 3 hours from Dublin. The easiest way to get there is by car, but day tours run regularly from Galway and Limerick if you prefer to sit back and enjoy the views. Parking and entrance fees? If you drive, you'll park at the official Cliffs of Moher Visitor Centre, where your entry fee includes access to the Cliffs Visitor Centre and O'Brien's Tower. Prices are around €10 per person, but you can save money by booking online in advance. Pro tip, if you want to avoid the crowds, visit early in the morning or late in the evening. The sunsets here are magical. Exploring the Cliffs of Moher. Once you arrive, it's time to take in the jaw-dropping views. The cliffs stretch for miles with dramatic sea stacks, hidden caves, and crashing waves below. O'Brien's Tower, the best viewpoint. For a panoramic view, climb O'Brien's Tower, a small stone tower built in 1835. From here you can see the Aran Islands in the distance. Galway Bay, stretching towards Connemara, the 12 Bens Mountains in County Galway. Walking the cliffs. There's a paved path leading to various viewpoints, but if you're feeling adventurous, you can hike the Cliffs of Moher Coastal Walk, a 5-mile trail that follows the edge of the cliffs. Just be cautious, the wind is strong and there are no safety barriers in some areas. The Cliffs of Moher in pop culture. The cliffs have been featured in several famous movies, including Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. The Horcrux cave scene was filmed here. The Princess Bride. The cliffs were the setting for the Cliffs of Insanity. Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Parts of Luke Skywalker's Ahch-To Island were inspired by the cliffs. Standing here, you'll feel like you're in a movie yourself, only this is real life and it's even more stunning. Nearby attractions. More to explore. The Burren, Ireland's most surreal landscape. Just a 30-minute drive from the Cliffs of Moher, the Burren is a stark contrast to the lush green landscapes you might expect in Ireland. This otherworldly region is made up of vast limestone rock formations shaped by ancient glaciers. Here you can explore Pulnabron Dolmen, a 5,000-year-old portal tomb older than the pyramids of Egypt. Alwi Cave, a huge underground cave system with waterfalls and stalactites. The Burren Perfumery, a charming spot where they make natural perfumes and skincare products inspired by local flora. 2. Dublin, Ireland's traditional music capital. If you're looking for authentic Irish music, head to Dublin, a tiny coastal village just 10 minutes from the Cliffs of Moher. This town is world famous for its traditional Irish music sessions, which take place in the local pubs every night. Best pubs for live music in Dublin. Gus O'Connor's Pub, one of the most famous music pubs in Ireland. McGann's, a cozy spot with excellent seafood chowder. Fitzpatrick's Bar, great Guinness, great music, and a lively atmosphere. Dublin is also the gateway to the Aran Islands. More on that in the next section. The Aran Islands, a step back in time. If you have an extra day, take a ferry from Dublin to the Aran Islands, a group of 3 remote islands where you can experience Ireland as it was centuries ago. Inishmore, the largest island, home to Dún an Casa, a prehistoric stone fort perched on a 300-foot cliff. Inishmaan, the quietest island, perfect for a peaceful escape. Inishir, the smallest and most charming, known for its shipwreck and white sandy beaches. No cars are allowed on the islands, so you'll explore by bike, horse-drawn carriage, or on foot. It's like stepping back in time. Locals still speak Irish, and life moves at a slower pace. The Wild Atlantic Way, Ireland's ultimate coastal route. The Cliffs of Moher are just one stop along the Wild Atlantic Way, a 1,600-mile driving route that stretches from Dingle in the north to Cork in the south. If you're up for an epic road trip, here are a few highlights along the way. Fanad Head Lighthouse, Donegal, a stunning lighthouse perched on the edge of the world. Slieve League Cliffs, Donegal, even higher than the Cliffs of Moher. These are Europe's highest sea cliffs. Eckhill Island, Mayo, wild beaches, hidden coves, and a famous abandoned village. The Dingle Peninsula, Kerry. Slieve Head Drive is one of the most scenic roads in Ireland. Mizen Head, Cork, the southernmost point of Ireland, where you can cross a dramatic footbridge over the ocean. If you have time, the Wild Atlantic Way is one of the most breathtaking road trips in the world, and one of the best ways to see Ireland's raw beauty. Final thoughts on the Cliffs of Moher and the Wild Atlantic Way. Standing at the edge of the Cliffs of Moher, watching the Atlantic waves crash below, is one of those moments that will stay with you forever. Whether you're taking in the view, exploring the Burren, or dancing to traditional music in Dublin, this part of Ireland has a magic all its own. And if you're up for an adventure, the Wild Atlantic Way is calling. Rent a car, hit the road, and discover Ireland's untamed coastline. Next chapter, Cork and Blarney Castle, kissing the stone for the gift of gab. In the next chapter, we head south to Cork, Ireland's rebel city, and visit the legendary Blarney Castle, where you can kiss the Blarney Stone and gain the gift of eloquence. Get ready for whiskey, castles, and some of the best food in Ireland. Chapter 5. Cork and Blarney Castle, kissing the stone for the gift of gab. Cork, often called Ireland's rebel city, is a place bursting with character, history, and some of the best food in the country. Located in the south of Ireland, this vibrant city has a laid-back charm, a thriving culinary scene, and a strong sense of identity. Corkonians proudly claim that their city is Ireland's true capital. Just outside Cork, you'll find Blarney Castle, home to the world-famous Blarney Stone. If you've ever wanted to gain the gift of gab, legend says all you need to do is kiss the stone, but it's not as easy as it sounds. In this chapter, we'll explore Cork's rich history, its legendary markets, its lively pub scene, and, of course, take a trip to Blarney Castle to see if the legend is true. Arriving in Cork, Cork is about a 3-hour drive from Dublin and 2 hours from Killarney. If you're traveling from Dublin, you can also take a direct train from Heuston Station, which takes about 2.5 hours. Once you arrive, you'll find that Cork is a walkable city, but if you plan to visit Blarney Castle or the Jameson Distillery, renting a car or taking a local bus is the best option. Exploring Cork, Ireland's food and culture capital. Cork is often overshadowed by Dublin, but locals will tell you, with great enthusiasm, that their city is friendlier, more artistic, and better for food. Whether you're wandering along the River Lee, sampling fresh produce at the famous English market, or diving into Cork's rebellious past, this city has plenty to offer. 1. The English Market, a food lover's paradise. Start your Cork adventure at the English Market, one of the oldest covered markets in Europe. Open since 1788, this market is famous for its local produce, artisanal cheeses, fresh seafood, and traditional Irish meats. Some must-try foods include spiced beef, a Cork specialty, especially popular during Christmas. Drisheen, a traditional black pudding made from beef blood. Fresh oysters and smoked salmon, some of the best in Ireland. Even if you're not hungry, the market is worth a visit just to soak in the atmosphere. You'll hear local vendors chatting in their distinctive Cork accent, which is fast, melodic, and full of humor. Pro tip, visit the Farmgate Cafe, located on a balcony overlooking the market, for a delicious meal made with fresh local ingredients. 2. St. Anne's Church and the Shandon Bells. For one of the best views in Cork, head to St. Anne's Church and climb the tower to ring the Shandon Bells yourself. It's a fun, interactive experience. Visitors can choose a song to play on the bells, which can be heard throughout the city. From the top, you'll get a panoramic view of Cork, making the climb well worth the effort. Number 3. Cork City Gaol, a glimpse into Ireland's dark past. If you love history, Cork City Gaol is a fascinating stop. This 19th century prison once held political prisoners and petty criminals in harsh conditions. Today it's a museum where you can explore the eerie cells and learn about Cork's turbulent past. Walking through the dimly lit corridors, you'll get a sense of what life was like for prisoners in Ireland's colonial era. It's an experience both haunting and deeply moving. Number 4. Cork's pub scene, a pint and a chat. Cork is known for its cozy pubs, lively atmosphere, and incredible music scene. If you want an authentic experience, avoid the tourist traps and head to the local favorites. Scenic, the best pub in Cork for traditional Irish music. The Oliver Plunkett, a lively pub with great food and live entertainment. The Franciscan Well Brewery. If you're into craft beer, this place has an excellent selection of locally brewed pints. And of course, no visit to Cork is complete without trying Murphy's Stout, a smoother and creamier alternative to Guinness, brewed right here in Cork. Blarney Castle, kissing the stone for the gift of gab. Just 20 minutes from Cork, you'll find one of Ireland's most famous landmarks, Blarney Castle. Built in 1446, this medieval fortress is surrounded by beautiful gardens, secret caves, and mystical rock formations. No. 1. Kissing the Blarney Stone, a rite of passage. The main attraction here is, of course, the Blarney Stone. According to legend, kissing the stone will grant you the gift of eloquence, or as the Irish say, the gift of the gab. But here's the catch. You don't just walk up and kiss the stone. To reach it, you'll need to climb 128 narrow, winding steps to the top of the castle. Lie on your back over a steep drop, holding on to iron bars. Tilt your head backward and kiss the stone. Yes, it's cleaned regularly. It might sound terrifying, but millions of visitors have done it, including Winston Churchill and Mick Jagger. Pro tip, if you're afraid of heights, you can skip the kiss and just enjoy the view. The castle's battlements offer stunning panoramic vistas. Number 2, the enchanting gardens of Blarney Castle. Even if you don't kiss the stone, the castle grounds are worth exploring. Some highlights include the Poison Garden, a fascinating collection of deadly plants including wolfsbane, mandrake, and even poisonous mushrooms. The Wishing Steps. Legend says that if you walk up and down these steps backward with your eyes closed, your wish will come true. The Fairy Glade, a magical forest area where local myths and fairy tales come to life. The gardens feel almost otherworldly, full of hidden passageways, ancient stones, and whispering trees. It's easy to see why Blarney Castle is one of Ireland's most visited sites. Final thoughts on Cork and Blarney Castle. Cork is a city that's full of life. It's rebellious, artistic, and passionate about food and culture. Whether you're exploring its historic sites, sipping a pint in a lively pub, or chatting with friendly locals, Cork leaves a lasting impression. And as for Blarney Castle, whether or not you believe in the magic of the Blarney Stone, there's no denying the sense of history and wonder that fills the air. So, if you find yourself suddenly more charming, witty, or persuasive after kissing the stone, you can thank the magic of Ireland. Next chapter, Belfast and the Giant's Causeway, Ireland's Northern Wonders. In the next chapter, we head north to Belfast, where history, politics, and stunning landscapes collide. We'll explore the titanic Belfast Museum, walk in the footsteps of the Game of Thrones cast, and stand in awe at the Giant's Causeway, one of the most unique natural wonders in the world. Get ready for rugged coastlines, fascinating history, and a glimpse into Northern Ireland's past and future. Chapter 6. Belfast and the Giant's Causeway, Ireland's Northern Wonders. Belfast, the capital of Northern Ireland, is a city of resilience, history, and transformation. Once at the heart of the Troubles, Belfast has emerged as one of Europe's most dynamic cities, filled with world-class museums, striking murals, and a thriving arts scene. But Northern Ireland isn't just about its capital. Just an hour's drive from Belfast, you'll find the Giant's Causeway, one of the most breathtaking natural wonders in the world. This UNESCO-listed site, made up of 40,000 interlocking basalt columns, looks like something from another planet. In this chapter, we'll explore Belfast's turbulent past, its vibrant present, and the stunning landscapes of the Antrim coast, including Game of Thrones filming locations, the Carrick rope bridge, and Dunluce Castle. Arriving in Belfast, Belfast is easily accessible from Dublin, with trains and buses running frequently between the two cities. If you're driving, the journey takes about 2 hours, following the scenic M1 motorway north. If you're coming from Scotland or England, you can also take a ferry from Liverpool or Cairnryan to Belfast Harbour. Once in the city, Belfast is very walkable, but you can also use the glider bus system or hop on a black taxi tour for an insightful look at the city's history. Exploring Belfast? A city reborn, Belfast is a city with a complicated past. From the days of the Titanic to the dark period of the Troubles, it has experienced both great triumphs and deep struggles. Today, it's a city of art, innovation, and newfound peace, offering a mix of historic sites, vibrant neighborhoods, and fantastic food. Their one, Titanic Belfast, the story of a legend. One of Belfast's most famous exports is, of course, the Titanic. The world's most famous ship was built right here, and today, the Titanic Belfast Museum stands on the very site where the doomed vessel was constructed. This award-winning museum is interactive and immersive, taking visitors through the ship's design, construction, maiden voyage, and tragic sinking. The exhibits include a full-scale recreation of Titanic's Grand Staircase, an underwater exploration zone showing the wreck as it lies today, personal stories from passengers and crew, bringing the history to life. Pro tip, the museum is very popular, so book your tickets in advance to avoid long waits. Number 2. The Political Murals and Black Taxi Tour, Understanding the Troubles. Belfast has a complex history, particularly between the 1960s and 1990s, when the city was divided by violent political conflict known as the Troubles. While Belfast has moved forward, the legacy of that period remains, and one of the best ways to understand it is by taking a black taxi tour. These guided tours, led by local drivers who lived through the Troubles, take you to the Peace Walls, large barriers that once separated Catholic and Protestant communities. The murals, powerful street art depicting political figures, victims, and historical events. Shankill and Falls Road, 2 areas that were at the heart of the conflict. Hearing personal stories from your guide makes history feel immediate and real. It's a moving and thought-provoking experience. Number 3. Belfast's Cathedral Quarter, pubs, street art, and live music. If you want to experience Belfast's cultural heart, head to the Cathedral Quarter, a lively neighborhood filled with historic pubs with live music, street art murals showcasing modern Belfast, trendy restaurants and coffee shops. Some must-visit spots. The Duke of York, one of Belfast's most famous pubs known for its live music and whiskey selection. The Dirty Onion, a fantastic venue with a beer garden and traditional Irish music. The Crown Liquor Saloon, a beautifully decorated Victorian pub now owned by the National Trust. If you love food markets, visit St. George's Market, open Fridays to Sundays, where you can sample fresh seafood, artisanal cheeses, and Northern Irish specialties. The Giant's Causeway, Ireland's natural wonder. Just an hour north of Belfast, the Giant's Causeway is one of Ireland's most famous natural attractions. The site consists of 40,000 hexagonal stone columns, formed by volcanic activity 60 million years ago. The legend of the Giant's Causeway. Local folklore tells a different story. According to legend, the causeway was built by Finn McCool, a giant who wanted to challenge a Scottish giant named Benandonner. Finn built a stone bridge across the sea, but when he saw how enormous Benandonner was, he ran back to Ireland in fear. Finn's wife disguised him as a baby, and when Benandonner saw the baby, he assumed the father must be a true giant and fled, destroying the causeway behind him. Today, the remains of that mythical bridge can still be seen across the sea at Fingal's Cave in Scotland. Exploring the Giant's Causeway. Once you arrive, you can explore the site in 2 ways. 1. The Red Trail, Clifftop Walk, a stunning but challenging hike with incredible views of the coastline. 2. The Blue Trail, Easy Path, a gentle walk down to the stone formations. Must-see spots include the Wishing Chair, a naturally formed basalt seat believed to bring good luck. The Giant's Boot, a rock shaped like a giant's shoe. The Organ Pipes, tall columns resembling a giant's pipe organ. Pro tip, arrive early in the morning or late in the evening to avoid crowds. Sunset here is particularly magical. More wonders along the Antrim coast. While you're in the area, take time to visit 1. Carrick Rope Bridge, a thrilling 100-foot-high rope bridge originally built by fishermen, connecting the mainland to a tiny island. Walking across it is both exhilarating and terrifying. Number 2. Dunluce Castle, a dramatic medieval ruin perched on the edge of a cliff. This castle was the inspiration for Castle Greyjoy in Game of Thrones. 3. The Dark Hedges, a mystical avenue of beech trees made famous by Game of Thrones as the King's Road. Final thoughts on Belfast and the Giant's Causeway. Northern Ireland is a land of contrasts, from the urban energy of Belfast to the wild beauty of the Antrim coast. Belfast, once divided by conflict, is now a city of creativity, music, and progress. And the Giant's Causeway, whether you believe in geology or giants, remains one of Ireland's most magical places. If you love history, culture, and rugged landscapes, Northern Ireland is a must-visit. Next chapter, Dingle and the Sleahead Drive, Ireland's most beautiful peninsula. Next, we head west to the Dingle Peninsula, a place of jaw-dropping coastal views, ancient Celtic history, and some of Ireland's best seafood. Get ready for one of the most scenic drives in the world, charming fishing villages full of character, a taste of the true Irish countryside. See you on the road to Dingle. Chapter 7, Dingle and the Sleahead Drive, Ireland's most beautiful peninsula. If you're searching for Ireland's most breathtaking coastal scenery, look no further than the Dingle Peninsula. Located in County Kerry, this rugged, wind-swept region offers wild Atlantic views, ancient ruins, colorful villages, and some of the best seafood in Ireland. The Sleahead Drive, which loops around the peninsula, is one of Ireland's most scenic roads, filled with dramatic cliffs, rolling green fields, and hidden beaches. Along the way, you'll encounter prehistoric forts, Gaelic-speaking communities, and maybe even a dolphin named Fungi. Dingle is quieter than the Ring of Kerry, but just as stunning, making it a must-visit for travelers who want to experience Ireland's natural beauty without the crowds. Arriving in Dingle. Dingle is about a 3-hour drive from Cork, a 1.5-hour drive from Killarney, 4 hours from Dublin. The best way to explore Dingle and the Sleahead Drive is by car, as public transport in this area is limited. However, guided tours run from Killarney if you prefer not to drive. The road to Dingle takes you over the Connor Pass, one of Ireland's highest mountain roads. The drive is narrow and winding, but the views over Dingle Bay are worth it. If you're nervous about heights, take the main N86 road instead. Dingle Town, a colorful seaside haven. Dingle is a charming fishing town with brightly painted buildings, cozy pubs, and a friendly, welcoming atmosphere. It's small, but it's packed with character. Here are some must-visit spots. 1. Dingle Harbor and Fungi the dolphin. For over 30 years, Dingle was home to Fungi, a wild dolphin who chose to live in the harbor and became an international celebrity. Though Fungi vanished in 2020, boat tours still operate, taking visitors out into Dingle Bay for stunning views of the coastline and a chance to see other dolphins and marine life. 2. Murphy's Ice Cream. Dingle is home to Ireland's most famous ice cream shop, Murphy's. They make handcrafted ice cream using local Kerry cow milk. Must-try flavors include Dingle Sea Salt, made with salt harvested from Dingle Bay. Irish Brown Bread, a unique toasty flavor inspired by traditional Irish baking. Caramelized brown sugar and sea salt, a perfect balance of sweet and salty. 3. Dick Mac's Pub. Dingle has no shortage of traditional Irish pubs, but Dick Mac's is one of the best. Half pub, half leather shop, this quirky spot serves great pints of Guinness and local craft beers. For live traditional music, try O'Sullivan's Courthouse Pub, a cozy pub with fantastic Irish music sessions. Foxy John's, a hardware store by day, a pub by night. Only in Ireland. Sleahead Drive, Ireland's most scenic road. The Sleahead Drive is a 30-mile circular route that starts and ends in Dingle, taking you past cliffs, beaches, ancient ruins, and breathtaking viewpoints. 1. Ventry Beach. Your first stop is Ventry Beach, a beautiful, uncrowded stretch of golden sand. It's perfect for a morning walk before continuing the drive. 2. Beehive Huts and Dunbeg Fort. Further along, you'll see cliffside ruins that date back to the Iron Age. These include Dunbeg Fort, a 2,000-year-old stone fort sitting on the edge of a cliff. Beehive Huts, clochans, ancient stone huts once used by monks. They were built without mortar, using only stacked stones. 3. Sleehead Viewpoint, jaw-dropping scenery. This is the most famous viewpoint on the drive. The cliffs here are dramatic, the waves are wild, and the Atlantic stretches endlessly before you. Across the water, you'll see the Blasket Islands, a group of deserted islands that were once home to one of Ireland's most isolated communities. The Blasket Islands, a glimpse into the past. If you have time, take a ferry from Dunquin Pier to the Great Blasket Island. These islands were inhabited until 1953, when the government evacuated the last 22 residents due to harsh living conditions. Today, the island is uninhabited, but you can still explore its abandoned stone cottages, hike its wild trails, and take in stunning Atlantic views. More stops along Sleehead Drive. 1. Comeenul Beach. One of Ireland's most beautiful beaches, with towering cliffs and crashing waves. It was a filming location for the movie Ryan's Daughter. Number 2. Gallarus Oratory. A mysterious 1,000-year-old stone church, still perfectly intact. 3. Kilmalcadar Church. A medieval church with an ancient Ogham stone where you can see one of Ireland's earliest forms of writing. Final thoughts on Dingle and Sleehead Drive. Dingle is pure magic. It's a place where rugged nature meets friendly charm, where you can drive along cliffs, explore ancient ruins, and end your day in a cozy pub with live music. The Sleehead Drive is one of the most scenic drives in the world, a journey that feels like stepping back in time, where the landscape, language, and culture remain beautifully untouched. Whether you're standing on the cliffs, tasting fresh seafood, or simply watching the Atlantic waves roll in, Dingle is a place that will stay with you forever. Next chapter, Kilkenny, Ireland's medieval marvel. Next, we travel to Kilkenny, a city of castles, medieval streets, and Ireland's best breweries. Get ready for a 12th century castle in the heart of the city, Ireland's most haunted site, craft beer, hurling, and a step back in time. See you in Kilkenny. Chapter 8. Kilkenny, Ireland's medieval marvel. If you love cobblestone streets, medieval castles, and a touch of Irish magic, then Kilkenny is the place for you. Located in the southeast of Ireland, this charming city is often referred to as Ireland's medieval capital, thanks to its well-preserved castles, churches, and historic alleyways. But Kilkenny isn't just about the past. It's a lively, fun city, famous for its thriving pub scene, craft beer, and Ireland's national sport, hurling. Whether you're wandering through its medieval laneways, exploring haunted sites, or enjoying a pint in a historic pub, Kilkenny is a city that offers history, culture, and great craic all in one place. Arriving in Kilkenny, Kilkenny is easy to reach. A 1.5-hour drive from Dublin, a 2-hour drive from Cork, a 2.5-hour drive from Galway. If you're not driving, you can take a direct train or bus from Dublin, both of which take about 1 hour and 40 minutes. Once you arrive, you'll find that Kilkenny is compact and very walkable. Everything you'll want to see is within a short stroll of the city centre. Kilkenny Castle, the crown jewel of the city. Kilkenny's most famous landmark is Kilkenny Castle, a 12th century Norman fortress that has been beautifully restored. Once the seat of the powerful Butler family, today it's one of the most visited castles in Ireland. What to see in Kilkenny Castle? The Long Gallery, a magnificent hall lined with paintings of Irish aristocrats. The medieval towers, the original stone towers offering stunning views over Kilkenny. The castle grounds, beautiful gardens and parkland, perfect for a relaxing walk or picnic. If you love castles, Kilkenny Castle is a must-visit. It's one of the best-preserved medieval castles in Ireland. Pro tip, get there early in the morning to avoid the crowds, especially in the summer months. The Medieval Mile, walking through history. Kilkenny is known for its Medieval Mile, a historic walking route that stretches from Kilkenny Castle to St. Canice's Cathedral. Along the way, you'll pass ancient churches, medieval alleyways, and hidden courtyards. Highlights along the Medieval Mile: Keitler's Inn, 14th century, once owned by Alice Cateller, Ireland's most famous accused witch. Rotha House, a beautifully restored Tudor-era merchant's house, complete with an authentic 17th-century garden. Butter Slip, a narrow medieval alley once used for selling butter in the 1600s. Today, it's a hidden gem filled with cute little shops and cafes. Smithwick's Experience. If you like beer, don't miss Kilkenny's famous Smithwick's Brewery, where you can taste Ireland's oldest ale and learn about its brewing history. St. Canice's Cathedral and Round Tower. At the far end of the medieval mile, you'll find St. Canice's Cathedral, a stunning Gothic cathedral that has stood here since the 13th century. Why visit? The Round Tower, one of the only round towers in Ireland that you can still climb. The views from the top are breathtaking. The medieval tombs. Inside the cathedral, you'll find ancient tombstones and intricate carvings from Kilkenny's medieval past. The beautiful stained glass windows, some of the most impressive in Ireland. If you love history, medieval architecture, and panoramic views, this is a must-visit site. Kilkenny's Haunted Side, Ireland's most haunted city. Kilkenny has a spooky reputation, with many claiming it's Ireland's most haunted city. If you enjoy ghost stories and eerie legends, here are some places to check out. 1. Keitler's Inn, the Witch's Pub. This 14th-century inn was once owned by Alice Keitler, a wealthy woman accused of witchcraft in 1324. She was the first person in Ireland to be tried for witchcraft, but she escaped to England before her execution. Her maid, Petronella, wasn't so lucky. She was burned at the stake. Today, many believe Alice's ghost still haunts the pub. Pro tip: even if you're not into ghost stories, Keitler's Inn is a fantastic place for live music, food, and pints. Number 2. The Hole in the Wall, a 400-year-old tavern believed to be haunted by soldiers and nobles who once drank here. 3. The Black Abbey, a medieval Dominican abbey with a mysterious past. Some visitors have reported seeing shadowy figures and hearing whispers at night. If you want to experience Kilkenny's haunted history, you can also join a ghost tour, which takes you through the city's spookiest locations. Hurling. Experience Ireland's fastest sport. Kilkenny is the home of hurling, Ireland's oldest and fastest sport. This 2,000-year-old Gaelic game is like a mix of lacrosse, field hockey, and rugby, played at an insane speed. If you want to experience hurling like a local, visit Nowlan Park, Kilkenny's stadium, and try to catch a match. If there are no games during your visit, check out the Kilkenny Way experience, where you can learn how to play hurling and try it for yourself. Kilkenny's best pubs and food. Kilkenny is known for great food and even better pubs. Best places to eat. Zuni, modern Irish cuisine with fresh, local ingredients. Petronella, a charming restaurant named after Alice Keitler's maid, serving traditional Irish dishes. Matt the Miller's, a lively pub with great Irish stew and live music. Best pubs in Kilkenny. The Left Bank, a huge, stylish pub in a former bank building. Langton's, a mix of cozy bar, restaurant, and live music venue. The Hole in the Wall, one of Ireland's oldest taverns, dating back to the 1500s. Final thoughts on Kilkenny. Kilkenny is the perfect mix of medieval history, lively pubs, and local culture. Whether you're exploring its 12th century castle, climbing ancient round towers, or sipping a pint in a haunted pub, there's something magical about this city. If you want to experience Ireland's medieval past while enjoying the energy of a small, vibrant city, Kilkenny should be on your itinerary. Next chapter, Waterford, Ireland's oldest city and the Viking Trail. Next, we head to Waterford, Ireland's oldest city and home to the famous Waterford Crystal. Get ready for Viking ruins and Ireland's medieval origins. A visit to the House of Waterford Crystal. The Copper Coast, one of Ireland's best-kept secrets. See you in Waterford. Chapter 9. Waterford, Ireland's oldest city and the Viking Trail. Welcome to Waterford, Ireland's oldest city and one of its best-kept secrets. Founded by the Vikings in 914 AD, Waterford is steeped in history, with medieval walls, Viking ruins, and a waterfront that has been bustling for over 1,000 years. But Waterford isn't just about the past, it's also home to the world-famous Waterford Crystal, breathtaking coastal scenery along the Copper Coast, and a thriving food scene that makes it one of Ireland's most underrated destinations. Whether you're a history lover, a fan of fine craftsmanship, or someone who enjoys exploring off-the-beaten-path gems, Waterford is a city that deserves a place on your Ireland itinerary. Arriving in Waterford. Waterford is easy to reach, a 2-hour drive from Dublin, a 40-minute drive from Kilkenny, a 2-hour drive from Cork. If you're not driving, trains and buses from Dublin and Kilkenny run regularly, with the train offering the most scenic route. Once you arrive, Waterford is compact and very walkable, making it an ideal city to explore on foot. The Viking Triangle, Waterford's historic heart. Waterford's Viking Triangle is the city's oldest and most historic area, filled with narrow medieval streets, Viking ruins, and fascinating museums. This area gets its name from the original Viking settlement, which was shaped like a triangle and enclosed by defensive walls. What to see in the Viking Triangle? 1. Reginald's Tower, a Viking stronghold. This 1,100-year-old tower is the oldest civic building in Ireland and was once part of the original Viking fortifications. Today, it houses a Viking museum where you can see authentic Viking weapons and jewelry. The Waterford Kite Brooch, a stunning piece of medieval craftsmanship. Viking-era coins, tools, and battle relics. Climbing to the top gives you a great view over Waterford's waterfront, where Viking longboats once sailed. 2. The Medieval Museum. Step back in time. If you love history, the Medieval Museum is a must-visit. It's one of the best medieval museums in Europe, featuring the Great Charter Roll of Waterford, 1372, a beautifully illustrated medieval document, the Cloth of Gold Vestments, luxurious 15th-century silk robes that survived the Reformation, a hidden medieval wine vault, once used by city merchants. The museum offers fantastic guided tours, bringing Waterford's medieval past to life. 3. Bishop's Palace, Georgian elegance, and Waterford crystal. For a glimpse of 18th-century Waterford, visit Bishop's Palace, a beautifully preserved Georgian mansion filled with period furniture, artwork, and silverware. The oldest surviving piece of Waterford crystal, 1789, interactive exhibits on Waterford's aristocratic history. If you're visiting Waterford Crystal, this is the perfect historical introduction before heading to the factory. The House of Waterford Crystal, Art of Perfection. Waterford is world famous for its handcrafted crystal, and a visit to the House of Waterford Crystal is one of the highlights of the city. What you'll see on the tour: master craftsmen at work. Watch skilled artisans blow, cut, and engrave the crystal by hand. A behind-the-scenes look at how Waterford's famous pieces are created. Some of the world's most famous Waterford crystal pieces, including the Times Square New Year's Eve Ball, used in New York every year, sports trophies for golf, rugby, and horse racing events, luxury chandeliers seen in castles and presidential palaces. Even if you're not planning to buy anything, the craftsmanship on display is mesmerizing. But if you do want to take home a piece of Waterford crystal, the on-site showroom has exclusive designs. Waterford's best pubs and restaurants. After exploring, relax with great food and drinks at some of Waterford's top spots. Best places to eat: Momo, one of Waterford's most creative restaurants, offering modern Irish dishes with a twist. The Olive Tree, a Mediterranean Irish fusion spot perfect for fresh seafood and tapas. Bodega, a vibrant restaurant focusing on local ingredients and craft beers. Best pubs in Waterford. The Reg, a historic pub with live music and rooftop views over the Viking Triangle. T&H Doolan's, Waterford's oldest pub dating back to 1400, with a fantastic traditional atmosphere. Jeff's Bar, a favorite with locals and students, offering a laid-back, cozy vibe. The Copper Coast, Waterford's hidden gem just a short drive from Waterford. The Copper Coast is one of Ireland's most stunning yet least visited coastal routes. This UNESCO Global Geopark stretches from Tramore to Dungarvan, offering hidden beaches and dramatic cliffs, old copper mines dating back to the 19th century, scenic walking trails with panoramic ocean views. Best stops: along the Copper Coast, Tramore Beach, a gorgeous sandy beach, perfect for a coastal walk or a swim. Bunmahon, a former mining village with stunning red sandstone cliffs. Stradbally Cove, a beautiful secluded beach, great for a quiet escape. If you're looking for a peaceful, scenic drive away from the crowds, the Copper Coast is one of Ireland's best-kept secrets. Final thoughts on Waterford. Waterford is a city that combines Viking history, medieval charm, and world-class craftsmanship. Whether you're exploring ancient towers, watching master glassblowers create crystal masterpieces, or driving along the Copper Coast, you'll find something truly special here. It may not be as famous as Dublin or Galway, but Waterford has a magic all its own. a city where Ireland's past and present come together beautifully. Next chapter, Wexford and the Hook Peninsula, Ireland's ancient east. Next, we head to Wexford, one of Ireland's most historic counties, and explore the dramatic Hook Peninsula. Get ready for Hook Lighthouse, the oldest operational lighthouse in the world, the Dunbrody famine ship, a journey into Ireland's emigration history, beautiful beaches, Norman castles, and ancient abbeys. See you in Wexford. Chapter 10, Wexford and the Hook Peninsula, Ireland's ancient east. Wexford is a hidden gem in Ireland's ancient east, a region filled with Norman castles, Viking history, and stunning coastal landscapes. As one of Ireland's sunniest counties, Wexford offers beautiful beaches, charming villages, and historical sites that date back over 800 years. But the real star of this region is the Hook Peninsula, home to Hook Lighthouse, the oldest operational lighthouse in the world. Combine this with the fascinating Dunbrody famine ship, the medieval town of Wexford, and the rugged beauty of Loftus Hall, Ireland's most haunted house, and you have one of the most underrated destinations in Ireland. Arriving in Wexford, Wexford is easy to reach. A 2-hour drive from Dublin, a 1.5-hour drive from Waterford, a 2.5-hour drive from Cork. If you're not driving, there are regular train and bus services from Dublin, making it an accessible destination for all travelers. Once you arrive, Wexford town is walkable, but you'll need a car to explore the Hook Peninsula and surrounding countryside. Exploring Wexford town, a blend of Viking and Norman history. Founded by the Vikings in the 9th century, Wexford town has a rich medieval history, combined with a vibrant arts and food scene. Number 1, the Westgate Heritage Tower. This medieval tower is one of the last remaining parts of Wexford's old town walls. It offers a fascinating look at the town's Norman past, when Wexford was a key stronghold during Ireland's medieval wars. 2, Selskar Abbey. A stunning 12th century abbey where Ireland's first Anglo-Norman treaty was signed in 1169. The ruins are hauntingly beautiful, and the site has a peaceful, almost mystical atmosphere. 3, Wexford's waterfront and quay. Take a stroll along the quayside where you'll find boats, seafood restaurants, and stunning views across the River Slaney. This is the perfect place to relax with a coffee and soak in the maritime history of the town. The Hook Peninsula, Ireland's most dramatic coastline. The Hook Peninsula is a wild, rugged, and breathtakingly beautiful stretch of coastline, home to one of Ireland's most fascinating historical sites, Hook Lighthouse. Number 1. Hook Lighthouse, the oldest operational lighthouse in the world. Standing at the very tip of the peninsula, Hook Lighthouse has been guiding ships to safety for over 800 years. Built by monks in the 12th century, it is the oldest operational lighthouse in the world and one of Ireland's top attractions. What you'll experience at Hook Lighthouse: climb to the top for stunning views of the Atlantic Ocean. Learn about medieval lighthouse keepers who once lived here. Hear tales of shipwrecks and ghostly legends from expert guides. Enjoy the wild, dramatic cliffs surrounding the lighthouse. Pro tip: visit at sunset. The views from the top are unforgettable. 2. Loftus Hall, Ireland's most haunted house. If you love ghost stories and eerie legends, then Loftus Hall is a must-visit. The story of Loftus Hall. In the 1700s, a mysterious stranger arrived at Loftus Hall. The family welcomed him, but one night, during a game of cards, the lady of the house dropped a card and bent down to pick it up, only to discover that the stranger had cloven hooves instead of feet. Realizing she was in the presence of the devil himself, she screamed in terror, and the stranger vanished in a cloud of smoke, leaving a burned hole in the ceiling that could never be repaired. The woman went mad, and Loftus Hall has been considered Ireland's most haunted house ever since. Today, visitors can take guided ghost tours, exploring the dark halls and chilling rooms of this eerie mansion. Number 3, Tintern Abbey, a monastic masterpiece. Not far from Hook Lighthouse, Tintern Abbey is a beautifully preserved 13th century Cistercian abbey surrounded by woodlands, rivers, and scenic walking trails. Founded by William Marshall, one of the most powerful knights in medieval Ireland, Tintern Abbey is a peaceful and atmospheric place, perfect for a quiet afternoon walk. The Dunbrody famine ship, a journey into Ireland's past. Located in New Ross, just a short drive from Wexford, the Dunbrody famine ship is one of Ireland's most moving historical attractions. What is the Dunbrody famine ship? a full-scale replica of an 1840s emigrant ship used during the Great Famine. Visitors experience what it was like to travel to America during the famine in cramped, dark conditions. Actors in period costumes bring history to life, telling real stories of famine emigrants who left Ireland with hope but faced unimaginable hardships. Pro tip: this is one of the best interactive historical experiences in Ireland. Don't miss it if you're interested in Irish history. The best beaches in Wexford. Wexford is home to some of Ireland's best beaches, thanks to its sunnier climate and golden sandy shores. Top beaches to visit: Currick Beach, famous for its soft white sand, and scenes from Saving Private Ryan were filmed here. Ballinesker Beach, a stunning, quiet beach perfect for long walks. Morriscastle Beach, the longest, unbroken stretch of beach in Ireland. If you visit in summer, you'll find locals swimming, surfing, and enjoying the sun. It's a fantastic spot for a beach day. Wexford's best pubs and food. Best places to eat: La Côte, award-winning seafood restaurant with fresh local catch. The Yard, a fantastic modern Irish restaurant in the heart of Wexford town. Kelly's Cafe, great for coffee, pastries, and a seaside view. Best pubs in Wexford: the Sky and the Ground, a quirky pub with live music and craft beers. Thomas More Tavern, one of Wexford's oldest pubs dating back to the 1600s. The Tin Roof, a hidden gem for cocktails and whiskey lovers. Final thoughts on Wexford and the Hook Peninsula. Wexford is a region full of surprises. It combines Viking and Norman history, dramatic coastal scenery, fascinating haunted legends, and some of the best beaches in Ireland. Whether you're climbing Hook Lighthouse, exploring medieval abbeys, walking along golden beaches, or braving the ghostly halls of Loftus Hall, Wexford offers a perfect mix of adventure, history, and relaxation. Next chapter: Dublin Revisited, Hidden Gems and Local Secrets. In the next chapter, we return to Dublin, but this time we go beyond the typical tourist spots to discover its hidden gems. Get ready for secret whiskey bars and underground music venues, lesser-known museums and historic sites, local markets, bookshops, and unique experiences. See you back in the capital. Chapter 11. Dublin Revisited, Hidden Gems and Local Secrets. Dublin is a city that rewards curiosity. While most visitors stick to Trinity College, Temple Bar, and the Guinness Storehouse, there's a whole hidden side to Dublin waiting to be explored. Beyond the famous landmarks, you'll find underground music venues, secret whiskey bars, historic cemeteries, quirky bookshops, and lesser-known museums that offer a deeper, more authentic Dublin experience. Whether you're a history buff, a literary lover, or just someone looking for something different, this chapter will take you off the beaten path and into the real heart of Dublin. Hidden history: Dublin's lesser-known museums and landmarks. If you want to dive into Dublin's past, but without the crowds, these hidden historical sites are perfect. 1. The Little Museum of Dublin, 15 St. Stephen's Green. One of Dublin's best small museums, this quirky collection tells the story of Dublin in the 20th century, with exhibits ranging from U2 memorabilia, Dublin's most famous band, a perfectly preserved 1960s living room. Stories from ordinary Dubliners that bring history to life. The guided tours are funny, engaging, and a great way to get a local's perspective on Dublin's past. 2. The Chester Beatty Library, a hidden treasure. Dublin Castle. Tucked away inside Dublin Castle, the Chester Beatty Library is one of Europe's most impressive collections of rare manuscripts. What's inside? Ancient Egyptian scrolls, Islamic calligraphy and rare Qurans, Japanese woodblock prints, medieval European illuminated manuscripts. It's a quiet, peaceful escape in the heart of the city, and completely free. 3. Glasnevin Cemetery, Dublin's City of the Dead, 2.5 miles north of the city centre. If you want to understand Irish history, there's no better place than Glasnevin Cemetery, where many of Ireland's most important historical figures are buried. Take a guided tour and you'll visit the graves of Michael Collins, leader of Ireland's independence movement; Daniel O'Connell, the liberator of Ireland; Eamon de Valera, a key figure in Irish politics for over 50 years. The cemetery has a haunting beauty, with tall Celtic crosses and marble statues stretching as far as the eye can see. Pro tip: after your visit, stop by the Gravediggers pub, John Kavanagh's next door, one of Dublin's oldest and most atmospheric pubs. Dublin's underground culture, hidden bars, and live music. Dublin has a legendary pub scene, but if you're looking for something a little different, check out these secret bars and live music spots. 1. The Blind Pig, a hidden speakeasy. Somewhere near Grafton Street, location revealed upon booking. This secret speakeasy is one of Dublin's best-kept secrets. It's hidden behind an unmarked door, and you'll need to book in advance to get in. Inside, you'll find expertly crafted cocktails with a Prohibition-era twist, a cozy, candlelit atmosphere straight out of the 1920s, secret entrances, and hidden passageways. Ask the bartender for the off-menu specials. They're always worth trying. Number 2. The Cobblestone, the best traditional Irish music Smithfield. For authentic traditional Irish music, skip Temple Bar and head to the Cobblestone. Why? Musicians here are the real deal. Many come from generations of Irish folk players. The atmosphere is raw, intimate, and completely untouristy. There's no stage, just a group of musicians gathered in a corner, playing their hearts out. It's one of the best places in Ireland to experience real Irish trad music. 3. The Workman's Club, indie and underground music. Wellington Quay. If you're into alternative music, indie bands, or underground DJs, this is the best venue in Dublin. Expect live bands playing everything from post-punk to electropop, a rooftop bar overlooking the River Liffey, a relaxed, creative crowd full of artists and musicians. It's a world away from the usual tourist pubs and one of Dublin's best night-out spots. Dublin for book lovers, literary haunts and hidden bookshops. Dublin is a UNESCO city of literature with a rich literary history that includes James Joyce, Oscar Wilde, Samuel Beckett, and W.B. Yeats. If you're a book lover, these spots are must-visits. 1. Marsh's Library, a secret 18th century library, St. Patrick's Close. Hidden behind St. Patrick's Cathedral, Marsh's Library is a perfectly preserved 18th century library filled with ancient books, hidden passageways, and secret alcoves. James Joyce studied here, and the wooden bookshelves look like something straight out of Harry Potter. 2. The Winding Stair, Dublin's most beautiful bookshop. 40 Lower Ormond Quay, a cozy independent bookshop with a fantastic selection of Irish literature. Views over the River Liffey. A cafe upstairs serving amazing homemade cakes. It's the perfect place to escape the city bustle and lose yourself in a good book. Number 3. Swenny's Pharmacy, a James Joyce time capsule Lincoln Place. This tiny, unchanged 19th century pharmacy was mentioned in Ulysses, and today it's run by Joyce enthusiasts who read from his works every day. Drop in for a free reading session, even if you've never read Joyce before. A bar of their famous lemon soap, just like the one Leopold Bloom bought in Ulysses. A chat with some of Dublin's most passionate literary fans. Dublin's best street markets and local finds. If you want to experience Dublin like a local, check out these markets and hidden gems. George's Street Arcade, Ireland's oldest shopping arcade, filled with independent boutiques, vintage shops, and record stores. Temple Bar Food Market Saturdays, a foodie paradise with fresh oysters, artisan cheese, and amazing coffee. The Fumbally Market Sundays, a local flea market with handmade crafts, secondhand books, and unique souvenirs. Final thoughts on Dublin's hidden gems. Dublin has so much more to offer than just its famous landmarks. Whether you're sipping a secret cocktail in a speakeasy, browsing rare books in a historic library, or discovering live music in a tucked-away pub, the real magic of Dublin is in its hidden corners. If you take the time to wander, explore, and look beyond the usual tourist trail, you'll discover a city that's full of surprises, character, and unforgettable experiences. Next chapter, the perfect Irish road trip, planning your ultimate adventure. Next, we put everything together and plan the perfect Irish road trip, covering the best routes and must-see stops, where to stay for the best experience, essential travel tips for a stress-free journey. See you on the road. Chapter 12, the perfect Irish road trip. Planning your ultimate adventure. Ireland is one of the best road trip destinations in the world. With winding coastal roads, breathtaking landscapes, medieval castles, and charming villages, it's a country that's best explored at your own pace. In this chapter, we'll map out the ultimate Irish road trip, covering the best routes, must-see stops, hidden gems, and essential travel tips. Whether you have a week, 2 weeks, or more, this guide will help you plan the perfect journey through the Emerald Isle. Why road trip Ireland? Scenic drives. From the wild Atlantic Way to the Ring of Kerry, Ireland's roads are full of breathtaking views. Hidden gems. Road trips allow you to explore small villages, secluded beaches, and ancient ruins that most tourists never see. Flexibility. Stop where you want, take detours, and enjoy the journey at your own pace. Authentic experiences. Meet locals, discover family-run pubs, and experience Ireland beyond the tourist hotspots. The best Irish road trip routes. 1. The classic Ireland road trip, 10 to 14 days. Ideal for first-time visitors who want to see Ireland's highlights. Route: Dublin, explore the capital. Kilkenny, medieval castles and haunted pubs. Waterford, Viking history in the Copper Coast. Cork and Blarney Castle, kiss the Blarney Stone. Killarney and the Ring of Kerry, Ireland's most scenic drive. Dingle Peninsula, coastal beauty and charming pubs. The Cliffs of Moher, Ireland's most iconic cliffs. Galway, live music and culture. Connemara and Kylemore Abbey, wild landscapes. Dingle, remote beauty and dramatic cliffs. Belfast and the Giant's Causeway, Northern Ireland's top sites. Back to Dublin, total distance 1,500 plus kilometers. Recommended time 10 to 14 days. The Wild Atlantic Way, 14 plus days. Ideal for nature lovers and those who want to see Ireland's rugged west coast. The Wild Atlantic Way is a 2,500 kilometers, 1,500-mile coastal route running from Donegal in the north to Cork in the south. Key stops: Mallinheadgal, Ireland's northernmost point. Sleeveleague Cliffs, Donegal, even taller than the Cliffs of Moher. Achill Island, Mayo, wild beaches and abandoned villages. Galway, the heart of Ireland's west. Dublin and the Cliffs of Moher, a must-see. Dingle Peninsula, one of the most scenic parts of Ireland. The Skellig Ring, remote beauty and Star Wars filming locations. West Cork, unspoiled coastal villages and seafood. Total distance 2,500 kilometers. Recommended time 14 to 21 days. 3. The Northern Ireland road trip, 7 to 10 days. Ideal for history lovers and dramatic landscapes. Route: Belfast, Titanic history and political murals. The Gobbins, a thrilling coastal walk. The Giant's Causeway, Ireland's most famous rock formation. Dunluce Castle, a medieval ruin on the cliffs. The Dark Hedges, a Game of Thrones location. Derry, Londonderry, a city rich in history. Donegal, Ireland's wildest county. Back to Belfast, total distance 600 plus 25 miles. Recommended time 7 to 10 days. 4. The short and sweet Ireland road trip, 5 to 7 days. Ideal for a quick but beautiful Irish adventure. Route: Dublin, start in the capital. Kilkenny, explore the medieval mile. Killarney and the Ring of Kerry, iconic Irish landscapes. Dingle Peninsula, one of Ireland's most stunning coastal drives. Cliffs of Moher, Ireland's most famous cliffs. Galway, end with music and pubs before heading back to Dublin. Total distance 1,000 kilometers, 620 miles. Recommended time 5 to 7 days. Where to stay on a road trip? Ireland offers a range of accommodation options, depending on your budget and preference. Castles and manor houses. Experience luxury in Ashford Castle, Dromaland Castle, or Ballynahinch Castle. Bed and breakfasts. B&Bs, the best way to experience Irish hospitality. Locals will give you great travel tips over breakfast. Glamping and eco-lodges. Unique stays in tippies, yurts, and tree houses. Hotels and guest houses, found in every major town and city. Self-catering cottages, great for longer stays or family trips. Essential road trip tips for Ireland. 1. Driving in Ireland. Drive on the left. Most cars are manual. If you need an automatic, book in advance. Country roads can be narrow and winding. Drive slowly. Watch for sheep on the road, especially in rural areas. Tolls? Most motorways have tolls, €1, except the M50 in Dublin, which uses an electronic system, pay online. 2. Packing essentials. A rainproof jacket. Irish weather is unpredictable. Good walking shoes. You'll be exploring cliffs, castles, and coastal paths. A portable phone charger. Google Maps drains battery fast. A small day pack, perfect for hikes and day trips. A reusable water bottle. Irish tap water is safe and delicious. 3. Irish road trip food and drink must-tries. Full Irish breakfast, sausages, eggs, black pudding, and more. Irish stew, slow-cooked lamb, potatoes, and vegetables. Boxty, a traditional potato pancake. Seafood chowder, a creamy, rich dish found in coastal towns. Soda bread, perfect with Irish butter. Guinness, no explanation needed. Irish whiskey, try Jameson, Redbreast, or Bushmills. Final thoughts on the ultimate Irish road trip. A road trip through Ireland is more than just a vacation. It's an experience filled with stunning landscapes, warm-hearted locals, and unforgettable moments. Whether you're watching the sunset over the Cliffs of Moher, sipping whiskey by a roaring fire, or listening to live music in a traditional pub, every mile of the journey is part of the adventure. So pack your bags, rent a car, and hit the road, because the best way to discover Ireland is to explore it for yourself. Next chapter, final travel tips and making the most of your trip. In our final chapter, we'll cover the best time to visit Ireland, money-saving tips and budget advice, Irish etiquette and cultural insights, safety, internet, and everything else you need to know. See you for the final travel tips. Chapter 13, Final Travel Tips and Making the Most of Your Trip. Now that you've planned your ultimate Irish road trip, it's time to go over the final details that will ensure your journey is smooth, enjoyable, and truly unforgettable. From the best time to visit Ireland to money-saving hacks, cultural etiquette, and practical travel tips, this final chapter will help you make the most of your trip to the Emerald Isle. 1. Best time to visit Ireland. Ireland is a year-round destination, but the experience changes with the seasons. Spring, March, May, mild temperatures, 10 to 15 degrees Celsius, 50 to 59 degrees Fahrenheit, fewer crowds than summer, lush green landscapes as flowers bloom, great for outdoor hikes and coastal drives. Summer, June, August, warmest weather, 15 to 20 degrees Celsius, 59 to 68 degrees, longest daylight hours, sunset after 10 p.m., best for festivals, outdoor dining, and coastal trips. Most expensive and crowded, book accommodations early. Autumn, September, November, mild weather and fewer tourists. Stunning autumn colors in the countryside. Great time for whiskey distillery tours and food festivals. Winter, December, February, cozy pubs and festive Christmas markets. Cheaper flights and accommodations. Great for Dublin and city breaks. Short daylight hours, sunset at 4 p.m. Some rural attractions closed. Best overall time to visit, May, September, or October. Fewer crowds, lower prices, and still good weather. 2. Money-saving tips and budget advice. Ireland can be expensive, but with some smart planning, you can save money while still having an amazing trip. How to save on accommodations. Stay in B&Bs instead of hotels, cheaper and more personal. Look for countryside stays. Small villages have lower prices than major cities. Use Airbnb for self-catering options. Save money by cooking your own meals. Check for off-season discounts. Prices drop from November to March. Eating and drinking on a budget. Lunch specials and early bird menus. Many restaurants offer cheaper deals before 6 p.m. Pub grub is your friend. Traditional Irish pubs serve hearty, affordable meals. Skip expensive tourist restaurants. Ask locals where they eat instead. Buy snacks at supermarkets, perfect for road trips. Saving on transportation. Rent a car with a fuel-efficient engine. Petrol, gas is expensive in Ireland. Use public transport in cities. Dublin bus, Luas trams and trains are cheap. Walk as much as possible. Most towns and cities are very walkable. Compare rental car prices online. Prices vary between providers. Sightseeing for less. Get a heritage card, €40. Free entry to over 45 castles and historic sites. Free museums in Dublin. The National Museum, National Gallery, and Chester Beatty Library are all free. Use city passes. Dublin Pass, Belfast Pass includes discounts on attractions. 3. Cultural etiquette and Irish customs. Ireland is famous for its warm hospitality, but here are a few things to keep in mind. Do say hello, or howya, to strangers. Irish people are friendly. Respect personal space. The Irish are welcoming, but not overly touchy. Tip in restaurants, 10-15%, not mandatory, but appreciated. Enjoy the craic. This means fun, banter, and good conversation. Don't confuse Ireland with the UK. Ireland is its own country. Northern Ireland is part of the UK. Try to fake an Irish accent. It won't go well. Talk about politics or religion, unless invited to. Sensitive topics. Call someone British in the Republic of Ireland. They're Irish. 4. Internet safety and practical tips. Internet and SIM cards. Free Wi-Fi is widely available in hotels, cafes, and cities. Get a local SIM card for cheap data. Vodafone, 3, or Eir. eSIMs like Airalo are great for short trips. Safety and emergency numbers. Ireland is very safe, but use common sense in cities. Emergency number, 112 or 999 for police, fire, or ambulance. Currency and payments. Republic of Ireland uses the euro. Northern Ireland uses the British pound. Credit and debit cards widely accepted, but bring some cash for small villages and rural areas. Healthcare and travel insurance. EU visitors can use EHIC, European Health Insurance Card, for medical care. Non-EU visitors should have travel insurance. Irish healthcare is excellent, but private care can be expensive. 5. How to make the most of your trip. Talk to locals. Some of your best experiences will come from chatting with locals in a pub, B&B, or small village shop. The Irish love a good story, and you'll hear some hilarious, heartwarming tales along the way. Take the scenic route. Ireland is full of hidden gems, so take your time and explore off the main roads. Some of the best spots are the places you stumble upon by accident. Experience live music. Don't just listen to Irish music on Spotify, experience it live in a pub. The atmosphere, energy, and passion can't be replicated anywhere else. Slow down and enjoy. Ireland isn't a country to rush through, it's a place to savor, whether that means sipping tea by a fireplace, watching waves crash on the cliffs, or enjoying an unplanned adventure in a local pub. Final thoughts. Your Irish adventure awaits. Ireland is a land of stories, music, and breathtaking landscapes. Whether you're driving along the wild Atlantic Way, exploring ancient castles, or sharing a laugh with locals in a pub, every moment here is part of the adventure. No matter where you go, you'll leave with memories, stories, and maybe even a little Irish magic in your heart. So pack your bags, hit the road, and get ready for the trip of a lifetime. Slainte, cheers, and safe travels. Thank you for listening. This concludes your ultimate Ireland travel guide. Whether you're a first-time visitor or returning to Ireland, I hope this guide helps you plan the perfect trip. Now, where are you off to first?